Hello everyone, Santir here, also known as Ben, and I am joined by my sister for more Majora's Mask.
Hello. Speaking of Majora's Mask, I see his symbol is on the ground right there.
Yeah.
And that is what you use to warp to. Once you beat the temple, you can warp directly to the boss, and that's where you would do that.
So one of the things we want to do here is collect these stray fairies.
It's your first one.
Yeah, there's 15 in each dungeon. And
And
there's another one in this room.
The sparkles tell you there's one more in the room, yeah. So this temple is inspired by South American, like step pyramids and art and stuff like that. So I think some of the things, designs on the walls, and also just the fact that it's like
I thought I saw
kind of pyramid. I did too. There it is. Think there's a fairy in there?
Maybe?
Either that or we're gonna have some mad hornets. Or it was like money or something.
Well, or nothing. It could also have just been nothing.
Yeah. But you can see they've got some statues there on the side. Ooh, a treasure chest.
Yeah.
Yay!
So finding all of them will... And this is actually a really interesting way of doing it, rather than like just finding it and playing a song for them. It's like, oh, finding the parts and reassembling the fairies.
Mm-hmm. And it's a way to have another item that you sort of get from the dungeon as an optional thing.
Yeah.
Because again, a common thing in Zelda games and probably other games too is that when you have like the dungeon, you get items. Did you have to kill them to open the door?
No, I wanted to
Get
break
magic?
the plant, but never mind that.
Okay. Ugh, that stench! This place stinks just like that poison swamp. That adds a bit of like what this place is like that was lacking, of knowing that the poison water smells bad. Anyway, what was I about to say? I was talking about, oh yeah, the items, because often in Zelda games in particular, but probably other games as well, you would know more than me about this. But a lot of times in Zelda games, you get the items
and bombs.
in the dungeon. Like you think back to Ocarina of Time, you get the slingshot, you get bombs, you get the boomerang, you get the bow and arrow, you get, the Megaton hammer. You're getting your items in the dungeon, and then also you use that item you got in the dungeon to beat the boss. Obviously, isn't always the case. Like, Breath of the Wild is very different from that. They kind of give you all of your tools at the very beginning, and then you kind of, use whatever. But kind of a common Zelda formula is that's how you get the items, and that's how that works. And there are very few dungeons in this game.
Yeah.
Or a lot fewer than others. And obviously there are mini dungeons, and like in the mini dungeons, like you get the mirror shield in a mini dungeon kind of thing, or you get the hook shot in a mini dungeon or whatever. Just like you got, I guess you could say you got the Lens of Truth, that's it. You get the Lens of Truth in a mini dungeon in Ocarina of Time, I suppose you could say. But having items acquired in other ways, and one of them is that you get, not always items, like you're gonna get double magic power or things like that in some of these from the fairies, but you get things in a way that's associated with the dungeon to kind of double up on the items you're getting. And, in a way that's not weird, but still means that you have to accomplish something that's kind of related to the dungeon in order to get it. Like, I think it's a clever way of doing that.
Yeah, I agree. I like that they have, like, I don't know, it feels more adventurous to
like your goal in the temple isn't just to...
Well, it feels more adventurous to have items and things outside of just temples.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Otherwise, it feels like all of the, like, stuff to find that's going to really change things is in the temples. Okay, you know what?
Keep on going too early. I'm not sure if this helps, because they're really protected by that. Half shell. I guess, right? Turtle and a half shell? No. Ah, that succeeded. In something, anyway. Yep. They're kind of cute, actually. Yeah, some kind of charming about him.
I can see that.
I like the noise they make. That must be it.
Gangway.
But I like that the architecture of these temples also is very distinct. Like, this is very green, and there are plants growing out of it. And
they definitely differentiate.
You can see the dragonfly motif on the walls there as it was going around. You could see they had dragonflies on the walls.
Okay,
and they've got some like see the dragonflies on the wall?
Yeah.
And they've got I think they've got some flowers on the ground sometimes too.
Like those ones that you jump out of.
No, like on the door.
Oh, okay.
If you look at the doorway, I think there's one. I doubt there's gonna be a fairy here, but we can check.
Oh yeah, I don't think there is.
Yeah, see right there's a flower.
But there's one out here.
Yep. And that could have meant either there is a flower on the ground out here or there is a stray fairy in the room. I can see the switch you're gonna have to use once you've gotten the bow.
Yeah. I don't think we're assembling the frog choir.
Probably not, because that's a little more tedious.
That's a very involved. There's a lot of like involved side quests that don't necessarily give us a ton of lore.
Yeah, the frog Don Giero's frog choir has 2 of the frogs are in dungeons. One's in Woodfall dungeon, and one is in Great Bay dungeon or temple, whatever we're calling these things. And then the other 3 are out and about. One is in Clocktown, one is in the swamp, and then one is in, you know, where they all end up going if you assemble the frog choir. But you have to go back into the dungeon.
Yeah.
I take it that was an accident.
That was me attempting to try and move the camera.
Well, you moved something, but I don't think it was a camera.
I pushed the pull out a bomb button instead of the
look up and around button. I think to do much more in this room, because what happens, I think you hit the I switch and it raises the middle thing and makes it spin.
I'm just trying to remember what to do here.
Yeah, the map is very enlightening for this room, isn't it?
Incredibly.
It's really showing where all the like landing pads are, for example. Nope,
nope, it's a key. Okay, interesting. So they're using different nomenclature for chests here, where they've put this gold trim around them, which makes me think it's supposed to be an important item. And like,
wow, another amazing map.
To be fair, a key is an important item.
Oops. I feel like the map should be showing where the things are you can land on. Like, you know, like the not just that this is a square room, but like there is water on the floor. You know? Yeah. But they're not showing that there is water on the floor. See, there's where I was mentioning having lots of blocks with Majora's face on them. This looks pretty light. Well, then just stand there, press A to grab it, and use the control stick to move it. In case you don't know how to do things. Because if you didn't play Ocarina of Time, you might not know how to move a block.
Yeah.
I know there's one in a bubble under the water that you have to get the bow to shoot.
That sounds probable.
I remember that in this room. The moths, don't they follow you if you...
yeah.
And do they kind of like hurt you potentially or attack you a little bit?
Really?
Really?
I have so little damage.
That's why you want to... Ooh, that was good. You killed it then. That's why you want to update... See, there it is under the ground. Yeah. That's why you want to update your sword, right?
It's true.
Like, it's kind of a pain because you have to beat Goat a second time and do the race and all that stuff, but it's worth it to get a better sword, probably. The Kokiri sword is not the best, apparently.
Huh, don't know what that's about.
On the wall?
No, the Kokiri sword's definitely weak.
Yeah. Alright, let's brave the moths.
There's not a whole lot of room for these sorts of puzzles.
When you say room?
You quickly get access to the bow, which would let me just shoot across.
Ah, okay. So there's not a lot of time to have this be a thing you can actually do.
Yeah, in terms of like, oh, the puzzle is carry fire on a Deku stick. It's kind of like this dungeon can do it. Maybe you could do some weird constructions that allow you to not do things with a bow to kind of prevent it.
Like, this might be too far of a distance. But you do get the fire arrow in the next dungeon.
Yeah, so you get fire arrows really soon, and that completely invalidates any sort of...
Like, if you were to redo this dungeon later on for some reason, maybe because you wanted to get to the frog, you could just use a fire arrow. And that can also be like a deliberate thing, where like it's going to be hard your first time, but if you are going to have people redo it, that it is easier. Where just like I mentioned, the circus leader's mask, they make it so that the only utility of that mask, besides to look really weird because you're wearing a mask that's crying, is to wear it while you're doing the Romani Ranch thing that you had to do in order to get it. So the main purpose of it is to replay, making it easier if you do the replaying thing, right?
Yeah.
I love how he has to jump inside of it. That's so cute. And we got the compass, yay! So...
Also, we have keys right off the bat, as opposed to Ocarina of Time, where we didn't have keys.
I mean, there wouldn't...
adulthood.
Imagine if you did that in this game, there'd be, like, no keys.
It's true.
There's only 4 dungeons.
I feel like I'm going to need fire up here.
I think you might. I think it's, like, over a doorway or something, a spider web or something like that. Yep, there's a spider web. And the moths are following you.
Okay, so I'm going to jump.
I bet you're going to get the bow in this room, if I had to guess.
These dungeons are not super long.
Ow. That was mean.
There we go.
Yay. One of these automatic staircases. This is a really weird feature that they have, these automatic staircases. But which I mean, you start walking on it and it automatically makes you go up.
It's a door transition, yeah.
It's a way to do a door transition, yeah, but it's kind of an odd one. Be careful! I sense a lot of evil here. Apparently, fairies can sense evil. Did you know that? Well, this is a very dark room. I think if you kill them all, then or maybe if you have to get all the torches, I think you're right. And then a chest appears on the middle platform. Wow, this torch carrying thing really is a motif in this dungeon, isn't it? It's funny, we were just talking about it at length, about how once you get the fire arrow, it's a little different. Then it ends up being a really big, prominent feature.
Yeah.
Wow, this is a really dark room. A part of it is because our saturation level means that everything is darker. So we are, like, literally practically blind. Like, this is really, really dark.
There we go.
I think this is darker than it would be if you were just playing it normally. You didn't want to get... I think there was a chest in there, no?
Maybe.
I might be wrong. I feel like if you kill all of the bad guys, there's a chest in the middle. I might be wrong about that, I guess.
Well, I have the compass, and it is showing a dot. There probably is a chest with a fairy in it, actually, now that you mention it.
You got the shimmering stuff on your hair. That means there's a fairy in the room, right?
Yeah.
Well, I can see eyeballs over there. Yep, there we go.
These enemies show up later in the snow version.
Yeah, white ones. Having the black ones in this room that's pitch dark is really a good move. That like it fits really well. Yeah. Yay!
Oh, they heal you.
Oh, well, that's convenient. Makes sense. They would.
It does.
Sure, they don't give you magic.
I mean, I'll take HP.
Yeah. Considering that some of the fairies that give you magic, you'd think they would, you know. I guess if you go to a great fairy, she heals your magic, right?
Great fairies will restore.
Yeah, yeah. Look at how singularly unhelpful that giant map is. It shows you nothing of the features of this room. I mean, I guess it shows you the shape and it shows you where there's doors. And I guess it would show you if there was a treasure chest. But it just feels really, like, empty.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
What do the maps normally look like? Do they normally show features or not?
Just boundaries, usually.
Interesting. I guess because when I've made maps of locations in Zelda games, I, like, put the features of
you're a bit more thorough.
Room, because that's, like, the point of why I'm making a map, is to have that. And it is useful to know where the exit is, you know. So, are they just doing pillars? They've got those mouths on them?
Yeah.
Oh, look at the electricity there.
Yeah, they have an electric tail swipe.
Yeah. It was just interesting seeing because it was frozen because of the way that door was functioning. Alright, we have a switch. I bet Tattle when I'm talking to you about the switch.
Probably.
That's
it
a
makes
shortcut.
The ladder appear.
Yeah, I think it's a shortcut, right?
Yeah, it's very much so Dark Souls style shortcut.
Look! From up here, we have a better view of that shrine below. You called it a shrine, huh? Yay, magic.
I call that an arrow shot waiting to happen. Ah.
Like, they could at least show that there's 2 stories to this room. An upper story and a lower story, right?
Yeah.
Alright, and this is, a Dynalfo? Lizalfo? What is it? What? Don't you know about Dynalfos? The Dynalfos, whatever. Use targeting methods while defending. And watch out for its fiery breath. Are you using a stick? That was so much better than the Kokiri sword, which is pathetic for the Kokiri sword that the stick of wood is better.
I mean, technically, the stick being longer would have more force at its end.
True. But
I got a stick glitch.
Oh. But it wouldn't cut.
No, but it would bash.
Yeah.
You would inflict more tip force.
Uh-huh.
It'd just be, like, the sword is better at adding injury.
Woohoo, the hero's bow. Was it called? What was it called in the other game? Fairy bow?
Fairy bow.
Fairy bow. So they changed some of
Hero's
those
bow is
names.
actually more common.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it would make sense. Calling it Fairy's bow
Fairy bow.
felt very in tune with, like, you know, the fairy boy from the forest kind of motif.
Yeah.
Right? Of the Kokiri have fairies and all that. So it felt very much like a Lost Woods thing. Now, how's the aiming with this? Because in Ocarina of Time, it was backwards of what you were expecting, and that threw you off every time.
Yeah, and I don't know why that was necessarily happening, but...
Is this one backwards, or are you doing okay with that?
That shot was okay.
So it's pending, huh? Do you want to check if there's any fairies? Like, there's in that mouth of that statue, there was a... And I meant the other room you were in that you left.
Yeah.
That was really well done. That took only one try. I'm impressed. I meant in the previous room, there was a,
Where's this fairy?
it might be in a bubble or something where it can't get to you. But in the previous room, there was a beehive that sometimes those contain fairies. I wasn't sure if you wanted to check that room or something.
Oh yeah, those would be good to shoot.
If you turn to the left. More left. There you go. In the mouth. I would be suspicious. Yep, okay, there's a fairy in there.
Yep.
I'm glad they gave you the noise so you knew. And that's 7, right?
So
It's approximately half?
Approximately half. That didn't quite work.
Oops. And the water is purified in here, right?
Yeah, by lighting the shrine,
We purified it.
the water's become purified.
Yes. And I wonder if you left the temple right now, would all the water be purified, or is it just in the temple right now? And you have to beat the entire, like, beat Adolwa and the whole dungeon in order to purify the water outside. I'm guessing it's that, the latter, because I think they probably show you in a cutscene that it gets purified.
Yeah, you're probably correct.
And this is the frog that when you defeat him turns into, like, the Don Gero frog. So if you want to do that, you know, mini quest or whatever, you have to beat him, come into temple and reach him and then beat him again in order to do it. Kind of a fun, unique enemy, like using the turtle and with the frog riding the turtle.
Indeed.
And I like that they actually have these frog enemies that you have to shoot him. Yeah, there he goes. That they have these turtle enemies show up in the forest, so you kind of encounter them out and like they're a native fauna of the area, and then they show up, and the dragonflies too, right?
For sure.
Also, I just realized I don't think we have any enemy Deku scrubs inside here.
We might not inside. We definitely have some outside.
Well, yeah, but like the fact that the Deku scrubs are, you know, not in the temple, right? Because it's like the royal family needs to play the song to get in the temple, etc. The fact that there aren't any Deku scrubs in the temple, just like guarding the temple, makes a lot of sense. Because obviously there were Deku scrubs in like the Deku scrubs have a very different role in Ocarina of Time, but there are Deku scrubs inside of the Deku tree, inside the dungeon there.
Yeah.
But it makes sense that they would not have Deku scrubs inside this temple. And so the fact that they're actually doing that, from what I can recall, because there might be some in like the last room or something. I don't know. We'll find out. But so far there haven't been any. And I think that makes a lot of sense. That's kind of cool. And look at that purple turquoise frog it looked like, right?
Yeah.
Very cute.
So if you do want to do the frog choir, you have to come back here with Don Gero's mask. After, like, you have to go beat this mini boss again
Yeah.
and stuff.
I would say Don Gero. Because it's presumably Italian, which would be Gero, not Gero.
Sure.
It would be GH if it was that. Ho studiato l'italiano all'università.
Yeah.
All right, Baschi. Which always has that very special box. Was there only one key so far? Well, small key, I mean.
Yeah, I've only gotten one small key.
Interesting. And how many fairies have we gotten?
7 still?
Okay, just 7.
I don't believe the number's changed.
I can't remember if we got an 8th one after that.
I mean, you go back to that one room that had it unnamed.
Yeah, that's good, yeah. We probably should check all the rooms. Okay, there's one in here, too.
There's probably a wasp nest somewhere.
This is the big central room, right?
Yeah.
There's one in a Deku Baba.
I got that one.
And there's one in a jar.
Yeah,
which
and
you-
the group guy.
I think there might be one, like, underneath, like in a bubble or something. We'll have to check to see if there are any bubbles.
That's why I'm looking for wasp nests.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, you can jump across on that. I can swim this now.
Yay, because it's not poisoned. You should come back here as a Zora, right?
It's probably shallow enough that you stand.
You think so? I couldn't. No, it looked like it was a little deeper. Like I said, I know outside it is, but do you see any underneath platforms in bubbles?
Not immediately seeing anything.
Wait, there's one.
Ah.
It's so obvious with that color. We're just blind people. Blind people who can't aim. Who really can't aim. Ha! We'll have to see if that gets rid of the sparkles or if there are any more in this room. Over half. Okay,
Still sparkles.
still one more.
We'll look for it later. I want to go back in this room.
Okay.
Where do you need to sniff this? Probably over here somewhere.
And it's underneath.
It's gonna be over this way. And here we are.
Yay, I got that
The
one first
arrow
try.
shoots higher from the bow than I expected to.
Alright, got 9 out of 15.
Still glowing though, so still in
Oh.
this room somewhere. There's probably a wasp nest or something.
Well, we got the one in the Skulltula. I think there's only the 2 in this room. I mean,
Or
is there a wasp nest? Ah. We'll have to see if any of them have... Oh, that one had a fairy, I think.
yep.
Alright. Yay. And that one had a wasp or a hornet or bee. We probably should look at some point to see if they're hornets or bees or what they're...
What does this? That's what they are.
Yeah. They're probably bees. But I think of bees as being non-aggressive.
Yeah.
Like, I think of hornets and wasps as just being evil. And bees as being, if you attack me, then I will defend myself. But, like, if we're just chilling in the same room, you know, or what, not room, I don't want to be in my house. But, you know, if we're just chilling in the same, we're admiring the same flower, it's cool. I'm not going to hurt you. Whereas a wasp is like, I will proactively attack you because I'm evil. We knew someone who, as kids,
Mm-hmm.
you remember that, I'm not saying names, but that had a, I think it might need to be a different angle. I don't know. But anyway, they had like a can of soda that they had out while they were outside, and a wasp, I guess, attracted to the sugar of the soda. Seriously, I think you might be a little off in your location.
I'm a little off on my aim.
Oh, okay. And the wasp went inside of the can of soda because of the sugar, whatever, and then he took a sip, and the wasp got into his mouth. So he got wasp stings on his tongue. I
Yeah.
cannot imagine having a wasp in my mouth. That's just so awful sounding. Do not want. You've been stung by wasps a lot as a kid, right?
Well, certainly a wasp a lot.
Yeah, because there was like a wasp under our deck.
Well, there was we had a big back deck in the house
Bet
we
that's
lived
a
in
fairy.
as a kid. Yeah, that's my guess too.
Oh, you dived. That's fun.
And the there was a hose area near there that I like to grab the hose for playing in the sandbox that we had, because it was fun playing the sandbox. And one time I went to get that out, and
Disturbed a wasp nest.
it turns out there was a wasp nest in it, and I just disturbed it, and a wasp got under my shirt and stung me 3 times before I managed to get out. That was deeply uncomfortable.
Yeah. I don't think I've been stung by a wasp. I think I've been stung by a bee, maybe?
Bees are worse, kind of.
Well, some bees leave their stinger in you, so that's worse than that you got a stinger
Yeah.
and you get to get out. But then they can't sting you multiple times also. But I have no problem with bees. I just don't antagonize them, and everyone's fine. I haven't had problems with. Whoa! You're not wearing a mask and it's still coming. Don't shoot the fairy!
I'm not. I'm trying to shoot the.
The dragonfly. It looked like you were aiming for the fairy. I'm glad that you can't friendly fire the fairies. That'd be tragic.
Yeah, it would be, because you pop the bubble and you pop the fairy.
Yeah, good point there. Wow, there's a lot of Skulltulas in here.
There's a couple of shooting galleries. I'm not gonna try to get those, like completely.
I think if you get perfect scores, you get bigger quivers.
Like, I will be happy to give them
I'd give them a good try.
like an attempt. But
Yeah, but not like the swamp shooting gallery to get a perfect score is over 1,000 points.
Yeah.
So that sounds like a thing.
I
Alright.
suspect the last 2 are. In
I
this
think
room.
the last two. I feel like I remember this room having all these cubby holes. I remember it having a lot of street fairies.
That was good. I needed the.
So I'm definitely guessing the last few. Look at all that money on the floor.
What does this do?
Nothing. I think it makes the fire go away if you actually hit it though.
Oh, you know what? I bet it does. Oh, I see another.
The fairy.
Yeah.
I like those pillars though with the funny faces on them. Those are kind of fun.
They're not funny. They're Deku faces, Jenny.
Oh, are they really?
I think so.
Oh, I'll have to look at one properly again. Okay, we have to. At some point, we don't worry about the fire running out. We'll have to look because the mouths aren't not shaped like round. So I wasn't thinking about them as decos, but because decos have round mouths or whatever. But I bet you're right. That's since their mouths are open, certainly. Ah. I knew there were a lot in these.
They bounce up and down slightly. So
They do. Yeah. All right, and I think we just finished it off, right? Aha! All right.
These ones are pink.
Yes, this is a pink one. You're right. Okay, so because I had been saying that there wasn't a pink fairy, but apparently this one is pink. So I wonder, she's like the default one. I wonder why they don't have the one in Clocktown being the default pink one. I'm saying she's the default because that's what the color of the Great Fairy mask,
Yeah.
and also the Great Fairies in the previous game. All right, there's a pretty flower on the door. And here we've got Adolwa.
Is Deku jumping out of flower probably?
Masked Jungle Warrior Adolwa.
Yeah.
And again, I believe there is some South American influence on his kind of design and what he's saying and stuff like that.
What do you say, Tattle?
If you get close to him, you'll be beaten. Do you understand me? So in the 3DS remake, they changed the bosses so that there is like one specific way to beat them. And they have these weird eyeballs that you have to hit and slash at and destroy or whatever. In this version, like, you can do whatever. Like, you can hit him with arrows. You can, do stuff using Deku flowers. You can hit him with your
I
sword.
believe bombs are a popular strategy.
Yeah, like, you just need to beat him. And he's like a swordsman. So, like, just whatever you want to do to beat him, you can do that. So I think that's way more interesting than whatever it is they're doing in the remake, where you have like a certain thing you have to do in order to beat him.
Yeah, the remake, in my opinion, makes the bosses generally worse, with maybe an exception for the twin mold.
Twin mold. And like, because one thing too is like, it having that special thing you have to do means that one of the things you do with Fierce Deity's mask is you can use Fierce Deity's mask. Oh, they have bomb flowers in here. That's cool. You can use the Fierce Deity's mask with and the bosses. And for some of the bosses, it's not really useful. But this is one of the bosses where it would be useful.
Yeah.
To, like, you know, because you're like a swordsman too. So like, you're two swordsmen having a duel together or whatever, right? But they change it so that you have to do all this special stuff with the Deku flower or something, I think. You would probably know more than I what you have to do to beat him, but it's Deku
I
flower
don't
stuff.
remember. It's been a while since I played that one.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's just not as fun.
Yeah. Letting the player choose how they do it is way more interesting. So. You see why bombs are popular if they literally do have bomb flowers to
Boy,
aid
this
you.
guy's fight is quite intense.
Yeah, well, my impression is he's got lots of variation. Like, he's not doing the same thing over and over again. He actually has quite a bit of variety of what he's doing here. Sure seems like it. Now, I think the boss fight music for all 4 of these bosses is the same.
It might be.
Because I remember this as music playing when you're fighting Goat in Snowhead. So I think the boss music is actually the same. Just like before we mentioned that the music in the 4 different regions is the same, just with different instruments.
Somebody is out of arrows.
Uh-oh. That's why you need a bigger quiver, right? I'm teasing you.
What are you, a Sith?
Wow, this is fascinating. You think he's a Scythe or a Sith?
Sith is a boss in Dark Souls.
Okay.
That wields a great sword that spins, has some spinning moves.
I thought you were saying he's like got a scythe, like he's trying to cut the grass short.
Nah.
Because he was like at ankle height or something.
Yeah, I get you.
So I wasn't sure what you were referring to. Not being knowledgeable about Dark Souls enemies. Yay!
That was a way more intense boss fight than I remember it being.
Yeah, that was pretty dramatic. All right. I mean, again, if you're replaying the game, you have the Sphere City's mask, so you use that, right?
Yeah.
All right, we got Adolbo's Remains. I wish this was a mask you could put on, because it looks like a mask.
It does. There's a big mask theme.
So it'd be really cool if you could, like, wear it. You have just freed the innocent spirit that this dark mask, see, it's a mask,
Yep.
had kept imprisoned within the body of evil Adolwa. Which Adol was also
The idea
kind
of taking
fantasy.
on the form of a mask that you're wearing is really prevalent in this game. It's really interesting.
Yes. Yeah, I find that a very interesting theme. And obviously the kids we will meet, one of them will ask questions about that too.
Yep.
That's at the very end of the game, though, so we'll see later. But this is related to the end of the game, so I suppose there's that. Also, green filter.
Yeah, it's probably going to be less intense for them, but
Yes.
it's very green for us. Also has those bubbles that the fairies are trapped in.
Yeah.
Around.
What's that?
They reused shabombs for those bubbles, didn't they?
What?
The things in Jabu Jabu.
Oh, I bet you're right. Yeah, they're like that. What's that? It's green, blue, so we know it's Tattle talking, right? Also, you're mute, so
Yeah.
you're implied to talk. We just don't ever hear it. Wait, listen. It seems to be saying something. Could that crying be its way of teaching us some sort of melody? Don't just stand there. Get your instrument. Does it automatically make you link?
I don't know.
If you were a Deku Scribe or something. Could this be the song? It's not really important, I suppose. I wonder how they choose the names of the songs, because Oath to Order
Yeah.
does not sound like a song title. Maybe if it had lyrics, that could make more sense.
Also, Oath to Order means that it's like you're pledging yourself to order as opposed to disorder.
Well, he's always causing mischief, right? He's like
Yeah.
kind of breaking everything. The Majora's Mask and Deku's kid. Deku, oh my goodness, Skull Kid. You learned the Oath to Order, says the narrator, because it's blue background. I like how we don't have a dialogue box for him because she has to interpret it, but we are hearing him say it.
Yeah.
That's kind of a fun touch. Call us. That's what it's saying. So that was mysterious. We're not going to understand what that meant until the end of the game, right? No.
Yeah.
It's one of the 4 that Tail told us about him. And now the water's being purified. So it didn't happen earlier when we purified it in the temple. It had to wait to take effect. Yay. And the temple is radically different now as well. And it's got a nice little entrance and everything. The sky looks like a funny color. Maybe because it's night.
Yeah, probably.
You'll have to use your ferry.
Yep.
It was good to have an insurance policy, though.
I agree.
The 4 people Tail talked about. Do you think he was talking about the spirit that was sealed inside that mask? Oh, hey, you were pretty good out there. Have you done this before or what? I like that little nod to it being a sequel.
Yeah.
Now, just keep up that pace and save the other 3. Hey! She can't make up her mind. She's like pacing. All that stuff I did to you, your horse, I apologize. Sorry. There, I apologize, so don't hold it against me, got it? Now then, we've helped the princess just like the monkey asked. So now our next stop is in the mountains. Let's hurry and do something about that Skull Kid. I can definitely see how someone could find Tattle irritating, because she's very, like, you know, the kind of character that is, you know, how she's like, there, I apologize, you can't be mad at me, kind of, you know, that kind of attitude, right? I can see that could be really annoying.
Yeah.
But I appreciate that she has a character, and also that she has character growth.
Yeah.
Where she kind of starts that way and kind of gets better.
Look at these, like,
weird
tonguey plants.
I feel like it's something from Mario.
I agree. It absolutely feels that way to me, too.
All right. Now, the Daycare Princess, she's got her eyes low down, and up above she's got these, like, like eyebrows or something that are purple. As a kid, I kept on seeing those as her eyes, especially in the artwork for the game.
Yeah.
That's in the...
That doesn't blink.
Yeah, because it doesn't blink. So it kept on throwing me off of, like, her eyes are way up here and she looks really weird. This weird, like, was it her nose? Like, what's that weird thing? But it's her eyes and she's got these weird dots above. So I don't know why they put the dots there. But it's a very different look of her face when her eyes are really low down versus her eyes are way up there.
Yeah.
Anyway, she needs a British accent. Okay, I need to get back to British mode again. It's been a long while, okay? Bear with me here. I need to be British again. Okay, so I'm being British, so now she's a British princess. So, what? Who are you? Link, pleased to meet you. I am the Deku Princess. I don't have a name, apparently. Just a title. She's really cute when her eyes are down there.
Yeah.
But when you think they're up high, it's really confusing. Anyway, were you by chance asked us by that monkey to come save me? I almost moved that monkey to the end instead of the middle. Aha, just as I suspected. You see, your body smells a little bit like monkey. I did not take a shower, apparently, even though I jumped in water and everything.
Yep.
So, the monkey made it back fine after all. That's good. I was worried that when I didn't come home, my father would think that monkey had kidnapped me. I was worried my father would even go so far as to punish that poor monkey. The poor monkey. Don't tell me. Are you serious? Is that text bigger to show she's mad?
I don't know.
Is father actually doing that? Yet another hasty decision, father.
Wonder who her mother is.
Sir not appearing in this game. Well, we haven't any time to lose. I guess it's not bigger. It just looked bigger to me than the previous thing she'd said for some reason. The font looked bigger. I don't know why. Quickly, Mr. Link, could you please find something to carry me in so you can take me to the Deku Palace? This is so bizarre that they do. I mean, it makes sense that they would have to do it this way, but it's also really funny. I don't mind tight places, so surely you have something you can put me in to carry me. If you have anything at all, then by all means, take it out and use it right here. Like, instead of teleporting you to Deku Palace as the denouement, they have you, like, bring her there. This is kind of funny. You put the Deku Princess in a bottle. It's a tight fit, but she says she'll be fine if you hurry. You see to let her out.
Oh, Mr. Link, there's no time to lose. Hurry, take me to the palace.
You have a princess in a bottle.
Yep.
So funny. And she does not comment on you switching from Deku to Hylian or anything. Ah, great. And you have to come back here to get the Great Fairy thing. So don't forget to go back. Or do you want to do it now before?
Isn't the Great Fairy thing in the Deku Shrine?
I think it's in that area that you just were in Woodfall. Pretty sure it's in Woodfall. The Deku Shrine is where you get the Mask of Sense.
Oh, okay.
See, I remember this game more than he does.
This was established back in the Ocarina of Time series.
Yes. But it's still true.
Also, that you remember this game more than Ocarina of Time.
Yes. The Fairy's Fountain is indeed in Woodfall. It's not in the Southern Swamp or the Deku Palace.
Okay, well, we'll do that next episode.
Okay. I told you not to enter any areas other than the Royal Chamber. It is a very rare occasion that you are allowed to enter, so do as I say. Follow this hole straight to the Royal Chamber. Don't enter any other areas whatsoever. Or something like that. Still a great song.
It is a good song.
Deku King's Chamber. You get to do it by the king. So see, we've come in here for this part.
Yeah.
Why are you waiting, Mr. Link?
Suffer! I shall prolong the suffering, foolish monkey! Oh, my princess, my darling princess! You all right? I was so worried. Oh, foolish father! Boing, boing, boing. I love the boing noise.
Yep.
They're all trembling in fear. What are you doing? Let that monkey go this instant! Look at the Deku butler. He's like jumping for joy or something. Oh, Mr. Monkey, I am truly sorry. Father does such rash things when he's worried about me. I understand, Princess. Forget about that. Has the temple been returned to normal? Why, yes, thanks to Mr. Link here. I am very, truly grateful. Really? So you're called Link, are you? Thank you for keeping your promise to me. It's a fun noise. As a symbol of our gratitude, our butler has prepared a little something for you. Please accept it. You'll find it in the shrine that will be on your right when you leave the palace. And she's on her little platform over there now. Hasty decisions making is my weakness. This time, more than ever, it has become clear to me. Oh, strange traveler, there is little I can do. Please rest a bit before going. It seems our butler has taken somewhat of a liking to you, Mr. Link. I believe you'll find him waiting in the shrine that will be to your right when you leave the palace. I shall never forget what you have done for us. But please forgive me if I have refused to ride in that tiny little bottle ever again. That's funny.
Understandable.
Oh, they've all moved to be in the front here. I guess they were here originally. They just had moved to be around the fire pit. You can change into many strange things, can't you? Very strange indeed. I forgot to be British for a moment. More than anything, I'm just glad the princess has returned safely. Link, I'm sorry for all that trouble. Now it looks like we monkeys and the Deku Scrubs can start getting along again. You know, the swamp may be back to normal, but something still gives me a bad feeling. I wonder what it could be. The moon! We were about to punish an innocent monkey.
About?
You were punishing an innocent monkey. You dipped him in boiling water or something. Has the poison swamp been cleared up?
Boiling poison water.
Yeah, probably. That means we can now go to those places we couldn't get to before.
All right, well, that's going to go ahead and wrap things for this episode. Next time we come back, we will turn in some fairies and do the butler thing, see what that's all about. Until then, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and goodbye.
Bye-bye.